on CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele over his refusal to answer to summons to appear before it. The CBN is still insisting no going back. So it presents an interesting scenario. For the presidential candidates, they were busy yesterday. Atiku Abubakar was in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, while Peter Obi visited Biu in Borno State. Biu is in southern Borno, around the areas where you have Chiboks and others ravaged by Boko Haram. So interesting for the presidential candidates. We have a full house today. We have Abulo Semuagu, who was in Benue yesterday. Bola Tinubu was in Makurdi, Benue State yesterday. Joining us also is Hadiza Abdu, Tevetief, and Shola Jasile. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Amechi, good morning. Good morning, my colleagues. Good morning, dear listener. Well, I don't know what to say about comments by our politicians. We talked about the comments by Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu yesterday, where he was making reference to the fuel scarcity and the Naira redesign targeted at dwindling support for him. But yesterday they tried to clarify issues, and that is what we expect of media managers. How you manage your boss matters a lot. You're able to manage the situation to say that you're totally referring to the opposition trying to sabotage the process.
So they came with clarifications.
The clarification. So that is what
saying he was not referring
to
the government,
but to the opposition. That the opposition have planted persons to frustrate the process, to make it look difficult for the government in power, and by extension, dwindle support for him. And they also made a clarification over what we passively said yesterday about the bullion van. Bullion van of 2019, the APC persons, officials tried to clarify that the bullion van in front of the Bodilion, Tinubu's house 2019, missed direction. It was actually headed for a bank, but he missed his address to. So those are the clarifications we expect media managers to make, whether right or wrong, but make a clarification. So if, apart from you just collecting the pay, even if it's black, tell us it's another color. At least make something so that we can, some people can go to sleep and some can keep talking. One striking thing about this campaign ongoing, political parties, is the disturbing situation in Lagos, where the deputy governorship candidate of PDP was stoned in the market. That is talking about Funke Akindele, where she was stoned in the market by, I don't know, so opposition supporters. And we heard yesterday that some youth harassed the governorship candidate of PDP in Lagos State for about 45 minutes. So those are not things we would like to hear now. The campaign is barely 30 days. Politicians should be able to pass their message to their supporters, not to harass opposition. Tell us what you want to do. Let's have them documented, and eventually if you win, we'll bring them back to you, not by harassing opposition to gain more support.
Yeah, Amechi, good morning to you. Good morning, listener. We're also listening and paying close attention. Some persons are already analyzing what the candidates are saying. Recall the dialogue yesterday in Abuja, where some panelists said, look, they've gone through the manifestos of the presidential candidates, the 18 of them, and I don't think they actually have a solution to the problems of the country. That's the kind of engagement we're expecting to see, and that's why some of us are of the opinion that when these guys or the lady comes to your state, try and extract some form of commitment on one thing or the other, you know, that is clearly of interest to your people, as it were. But wait to see how all of that will play out. Some of them are very bulky, as it were, but that is what it is. For the redesign, there appears to, and I think the CBN too was not as smart as one would expect them to have been. There is this notion that it's as if once the 31st comes, the country will run aground on the account of low cash, you know, and let's not forget, the 100 naira note, the 50 naira note, the 20 naira note, the 10 naira, the 5 naira will still be valid after January 31. And one would have expected that perhaps the CBN, in the run-up to this time, would have put more of those notes or currencies out there, you know, as it were, so that going by the fact that they are also looking at using more of the lower denominations than what it is. So, as much as there are concerns about 1,500 and 200, the 100 naira and the others are still valid.
Is there a battle line between the CBN and the House of Representatives? There have been several invitations from the CBN to the House. The governor wrote saying he was out of the country, sent deputy governor, currency operations or so. Now he's back. The House still wants him to come, but he shunned them, prompting the speaker to threaten issuers of warrant of arrest. Some persons are reading. We know how close Speaker Gbajabiamila is to the APC candidate Bola Tinubu, who has voiced concerns over the Naira redesign, adding new ink, he calls it. Some are asking whether it's a proxy fight here or whether it's the House that has the right to summon any public official to appear before it.
I mean, if you watch the action of even the committee, you know, they were very clear. Where they sat down, the other chief executive of the commercial banks were there. You know, the CBN officials did not turn up. And from what we are also hearing, that there is a letter that he said, look, he's following the president, you know, out of the country and all of that. He said, look, we'll tell the speaker to do the needful, you know, as it were. And we all know the first reaction, even before now, the first reaction, opposition to this redesign and all of that came from the National Assembly. So most of us, you know, are not surprised. He said the House will not, will not go on recess until, you know, you can stay there till the guy has the backing of the president. The truth of the matter is he will not show up. He has look at what the Senate did with the Ways and Means. The House has already passed the Ways and Means. The Senate has not passed. You know, and they're saying the guy should come and explain. What did they do? They've closed shop and they've gone for their campaigns. Now, I said, look, when you come to explain to us, we'll now pass the Ways and Means. The
Senate will reconvene, is it 2-3 days after, a week after the presidential National Assembly elections? And perhaps the House will also adjourn very soon because they are running elections. Gbajabiamila is a candidate. So they will adjourn. Hadiza Abdu, maybe the CBN governor knew that very soon they will go. You have all the time to enforce the January 31 deadline. Even if they issue the warrant of arrest, who's going to come and pick him up when the president has publicly sided, taking sides with him?
Thank you, Amaechi. Like I said earlier by my colleagues, obviously the president is behind Emefiele, which means that is untouchable. But is it right for the president to be a master of all? In a way, I would explain. Does the National Assembly or the House of Representatives have the right to summon CBN governor to issue an arrest warrant on Godwin Emefiele? So if they do, then they can go ahead and do so with or without the backing of the president, because we are living in a country where there are laws, and of course these laws must be followed and be adhered to, strictly to, for that matter. What are we talking about? We are talking about a country. We're talking about a people. We are talking about what can elevate the suffering of the people. If we already know that there's a problem with this deadline of the new Naira note and face-off of the old Naira note, not all, some currencies, if we already know there's a problem, so why don't we tackle it and know how to solve it? I think that is what the National Assembly or Gbajabiamila is trying to work on.
Well, Shalaja Simi, in Nigeria, that's why people struggle to control institutions. If you're the one behind the appointment of the CBN governor, you have influence over him. If you're influential over the elevation of anybody, you have influence. And when there is a fight, political or not, these persons will have an opportunity for a payback. What we are seeing with the CBN issue, some people against him, some people even moved to have him arrested. The DSS went to court. Some analysts have said what we're seeing is a manifestation of the internal struggle, the struggle within the APC, within inside Aso Rock, the different interest groups there, taking different positions, and is affecting public policy because redesign of the Naira is principally a monetary policy, public policy thing, but it appears it's gone beyond that now.
The issues are very clear. There's a big fight within the camp of the APC. And like many of us know, whether Mr. Emefiele is a card-carrying member of the party is something that people are still asking these key questions. Recall, people bought forms for him, that's what we're told, to run the presidency, to run the presidential primaries of the APC. So probably that his card now. Someone is holding and saying, we will tear this card except you rescind whatever decisions you have taken as CBN governor. But the most important issues around this are clear. I believe that we need to, when I mean we, Nigerian people need to support this policy. There's a lot of money that is out there that is not out there. I'm seeing new, fresh, crisp 500, 1,000 naira notes, which, were printed some time ago. And normally those notes should have been crushed, they should have been used and all that, but these things are coming out now. So, Mr. Emefiele, we said it yesterday as we wrapped up the program, use your powers as the governor of the central bank and sanction money deposit banks who you say you've given the new cash, who are not dispensing them. The CBN governor has the power, the institution rather has the power, put sanctions on them, put fines on them so that we will know what we're doing in regards to the currency swap and all that. Now, let me just quickly go back to the first issues that we raised. The leadership of the APC and those managing the media section of the Presidential Council, one thing I dislike in journalism is journalists taking bullets that they ought not to take. When people say what they have said, and you have the clips, you have the soundbite, you have everything, you don't take bullets for them. If they try to walk back their talk, we let them realize this is what you have said.
So, you may choose not to take.
No, let me hold
Some
it.
other
Let me
persons
make my
may
point.
choose to take.
No, let me make my point. My point, I'm going to the issue that statement that has come out that they are saying that Mr. Tinubu, those bullion vans were headed in one direction. We were here in this country. We heard Mr. Jagaba himself say, what is wrong if I send for bullion vans? The clips were all over the place. So, when we have senior brothers who run campaign councils for people and they are poking their finger in our eyes, we tell them, no, this is falsehood. We refuse to run with your falsehood and we call you out on them.
You call them media managers. They are paid for their job. They are paid. That's why I said earlier on, their clarification is necessary. Whether it is wrong or right, let them make a clarification. Because that's what they are paid for. Okay. Femi Adesina is a journalist, but now he's managing the president. And he has to defend the president. He has to manage the president in a way that you and I, we can appreciate it. Yes, he said something. Okay. Keeping quiet, says nothing.
Let me say this, please. The kernel of the journalism profession is the truth. We have all the other elements in journalism, but the truth. So if you say something that is wrong, and I have the truth, I must bring out that truth of the matter. So we don't do this, we're balancing all sides, and we toss the truth in one corner. Journalism stands on the truth. Let's feed the people of this country and whoever listens to content with the truth.
And the truth is sacred. Let's go for your mails. Let's share some of the emails you have sent to our platform.